It's me again. I'm Antonio Manuel Ngima Ando. Well, it's a Western to Central African common use name, especially the Central African bordering countries. I went to school at the National University of Equatorial Guinea in a collateral agreement between the U.S. government and the Equatorial Guinean government. A fall study program provided by the University of Arcadia, South Carolina. I'm interested, really interested, in Borneo orangutan protection because it deals a lot with endangered species. So the case is much more similar to what we are facing in the country nowadays. And there has been ways and techniques developed on how to protect endangered species, not to go extinct. Having outreaches, group talks, seminars with local community members, and how to deal with issues and the awareness of the dangers of eating or consuming this species or food mix in general, and also the impact it will have or produce on what we call the food chain equilibrium or nature-life balance, because there will be a breaking of the interaction of that specific species to the other species around as well and its natural surroundings. Because one of the points that I mentioned in my previous video was that the overhunting. It's one of the major impacts that leads the species to go extinct when there is a lot of overhunting on them. So, and another aspect we can have in consideration is changing of habitats. Whenever you change a species habitat, whenever you take it out of its original habitat, you allow that species to suffer, to go through a couple of consequences. Well, I'm not actually going to go to details, but it deals a lot with, they know their food points, their eating habit points, and you're changing it completely, means that they will have to, first of all, take the time to explore the new habitat, explore the nature, and it might lead them to encounter perils on the way, like predators or other animals or people that hunt them. That is another aspect. I would really, like, my motivation to this program, on volunteering in this program, it's because I need to share my experience. I had a course on with the BBPP. That's an American program organization. BBPP means Bioko Biodiversity Protection Program. Bioko is the island where I live, and this program focuses much more on taking care of the biodiversity in general, and in particular, they have like branches that take care of different areas, like different fields, like primates, sea turtles, birds, frogs, chameleons. So they cover different areas, and I've had a little bit of knowledge on those different areas while working with a couple of American professors and American students coming from abroad. So and we developed a few techniques of how to keep a species from their habitat, how to spy them without making them know you're there, like not making any noise, not wearing very colorful clothes. It's really essential. So, and then personally, I would love to go to Asia because I have never worked with primates before, I mean, like, not primates in general. I mean, I have never worked with orangutan before. I've worked with primates. I studied petroleum geology, so I am a geologist, and I know a lot about the earth. So I felt myself that I was not complete, or was not a complete person, because I needed to complete it with loving the nature. You know, when you're dealing a lot with the environment, you're working on biodiversity stuff, so you get that lacking part. For me, that's, I consider it as a lacking part. So having the biodiversity experience, the environment, and adding it to the earth geology, which is, so I felt myself that I was complete, and that's why when I saw the program on the internet, when it was tagged me on my Facebook wall by a friend of mine who was actually in Chicago, and Anita Jens, so I just got interested, went on it, and sort of branches, like the platform, went on the platform, saw the different branches, and I got interested in animals, and especially in primates. Well, we only have monkeys, so we don't have orangutans. It's going to be an experience for me to learn from the local community people of the particular place or country where I'm going to be assigned to go, and also teach them my methods, the methods which I learned at the program, which is going to be really interesting and important to them, because while I think nature is connected, if you kill a species, it's like you're breaking a connection. And one other aspect that I mentioned in my previous video as well, it was about the plants. Every animal has its eating habits, and if it comes down to monkeys, they eat so many different things, fruits, plants, and so if you kill a monkey species, or a primate species in general, if you kill a species, you're gonna allow that species not to keep eating that particular fruit, and if it's poisonous, it might kill the other plants around it, and other animals might be dying as well if they happen to eat that fruit. So it is really important to keep that connection. That's why nature is connected. Whatever you do to nature, there's always an impact, but to restore it back, that is always the hardest thing. So another very important aspect in this video, let me tell you guys, is about bushmeat consumption. Well, a lot of communities, like community members, they think it's a good habit to eat like a luxury meat. They call it part in a couple of African countries. And they also use it for commercial benefits, like selling it. But there's one thing they do not realize is when you eat a species, when you eat bushmeat, and especially primates, they have the closest DNA to humans. So their blood contains microorganisms. Listen to me very well. Their blood contains microorganisms capable to transmit a human disease, a disease to human bodies. Microorganisms capable to transmit diseases to human bodies. We're talking about the yellow fever, the different viruses, like even the Ebola that was currently killing people, millions of people, a couple of months ago. And also, well, I'm not going to go into details, but you might be you're eating a species, and then you would want to tell me, you would want to say, oh, okay, I've been eating this for a long time ago. Well, I've never seen it or felt anything wrong happening to me. Well, let me tell you one thing, my friend. It is not going to happen right at the moment you eat that species, but within a couple of years maybe, or a couple of months, the disease in your body is having an evolution throughout your body. And it shows up when your defense organs can no longer resist it. And you'll be like, wow, it might be because of the water I drank yesterday, all the food that I took yesterday, but you don't know you had it since a long time ago and it's been developing in your body. Several diseases, we're actually having it in the lower communities and throughout the world, and people don't even know where they come from. So you cannot determine, and this is a serious aspect. So I would love to be part of the program. I would love to have the chance for a scholarship and volunteer world. And that's why this is my motivation, to help and to learn as well. And then I have never been in Asia before, so it's going to be a very huge experience to me, so that when I come back home, teaching my local community member people, it's going to be important as well. And so I thank you guys for this opportunity, and I hope to have the chance to get a scholarship in the volunteer world. And this is it. Thank you.